Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for joining our HP Smart Buy presentation here at D&H. We have quite a few outstanding HP people with us today. They're going to go over some great content. So first up, we have Brett Scavera, which is our HP PC PBM with us.
Thank you, Shawnice. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Shawnice said, my name is Brett Scavera. I'm the Partner Business Manager that manages the relationship between HP and our good friends at D&H Shipping when it comes to their commercial PC business. As Shawnice said, we have a great lineup today and excited to share a lot of updates with you. We have Kevin Rivera from our services team, Nancy Bellman from our workstation team, J.R. Page will be covering notebooks and desktops, Derek Lowe and Keith Homan will be going over our accessories and poly offerings. So again, thank you for being here. We're excited to get started. We'll kick things off with Kevin Rivera and HP Services. Kevin, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Shawnice. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great week. I appreciate the time. My name is Kevin Rivera. I am the Partner Business Manager for Services, managing the relationship with D&H. I'm going to speak a little bit around workforce experience. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, not talk so much about lifecycle services, but the experience between device management and what that can do for the portfolio, through the platform that we have today. So the HP Workforce Experience Platform is an AI-powered solution. It really is aimed at boosting employee productivity by reducing digital friction and empowering IT teams to resolve issues on a more proactive way. But what else it also does is it gathers and analyzes billions of real-time data points from devices and applications to intelligently anticipate problems and identify workflow disruptions. The big thing with what Workforce Experience will do here too as well is it's agnostic. It doesn't have to be an HP product. It could be a Lenovo, could be Dell, could be anything that has an endpoint device across the platform. The platform also provides actionable insights and recommendations to IT leaders, enabling proactive problem resolution. That's why, let me get to the next slide. And that's why an increasing number of CIOs are making a DEX strategy a priority. By next year, half of the digital workplace leaders are expected to have a DEX strategy in place. And within 3 years, those who fail to prioritize a DEX solution risk falling behind or being replaced by leaders who do have that type of prioritization or strategy in place. But this is where you can partner with HP to help with the Workforce Experience Platform or WXP, so you can provide that solution to your customer today. When you look at the endpoints today, with the amount of endpoints that are being used today on a daily basis, employees perform at their best when technology disappears into the background, making it a seamlessly effort to be able to utilize it across the board. So this only really happens when IT has the right tools to manage the complexity of the new digital ecosystem. AI is continuing to grow and evolve. So having a strategy to address the technology issues proactively can really reduce the friction, improve security, and better serve the company by making employees productive and fulfilled today and in the future as well. What I'm going to end with, and again, I only wanted to take up about 2-3 minutes here, and we do have a long list of people here with great information. On this next slide is going to be a video. I will share it with with Shawnice and the D&H team that will go out to everybody. What we want to do is show you a demo of what the engine really can do. So what WXP does in action. It'll be a short 2.5-3 minute demo. It's going to showcase how the how it transforms IT management into a proactive management tool into the future. So again, it'll give you just a little insight of what really WXP does today and into the future. So with that being said, I will go ahead and pass it on to Derek. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks, appreciate it. Hey, I hope you guys can hear me okay. I've got a lot of slides, but I'm going to jump through them quickly because what I have are a lot of tools. And so I'm not going to go line by line, but what I would really encourage each of you to do is to go through a lot of these tools and see which ones resonate with you. So let's get to those when I get there. Real quick, my name is Derek Lowe. I cover everything that's displays, docks, and peripherals in the channel, and thrilled to be here today. So with that, if I jump right in, I'd love to kind of start with kind of like a shot, like a Polaroid snapshot of the business today. You can see here for supply purposes, we have a lot of options in supply. We have very few constraints in our displays and docking categories. So you can see we've got a lot of good Series 3, Series 5, and Series 7, a lot of different 24, 27, even 34-inch products in stock here today. And if we look down at docks, we even still have some of the USB-C G5 docks in stock, but those are channel only. Once those are gone, we're gone. We do have some promotions, and I like to think of these promotions as kind of like an end cap at a supermarket or 7-Eleven. You know, what's on sale? What's a run rate SKU that maybe we have a lot of, and we've got some dollars to throw at it, and that's what we've done. And I've got a whole slide just for that, so that'll be on the next one. And then last thing, things to know. So there's no pricing increases on docks and displays. Okay, so those are pretty consistent across the board. We're not seeing any cost increases there. And then the 280-watt G6 dock, we've been under constraint since about November. That is completely resolving itself this week as we get a new shipment to cover all of our existing backlog and then have products available for new orders. And then in 2 weeks, we get another big shipment. So 280-watt dock constraints gone, okay? Memory SSD, many of you probably know that HP is getting very little SSD in memory right now. And so whatever we are getting is not going to the options category at all. Okay, so those are all going to systems, right, for workstations, desktops, and notebooks. So we will not be fulfilling any options or accessories orders on those components. 514, I'll talk about that in a second. 549, we'll talk about that in a second. And then last but not least, we do have an important transition in our keyboards and mice. The 655 combo, which many of our named accounts use, has transitioned to the 495. We're not even taking new orders on the 655 combo anymore. Okay, so let's just jump in here and look at these sales out rebates. So these are, if you were to sell them transactionally, right, you're going to see, I've got two columns here. And column one is what started on February 1st, but we made some additional SORs in green on March 1st. So all of these will be live through the end of April, okay? And if you look here, we are heavy in the low-end space, and that's because when we did some pricing analysis, we saw that against Dell's entry-level type displays, we weren't quite as competitive as we'd like to be. So we're battling that through some sales rebates here. So keep these in mind. We've even got some on docking and peripherals. And for those out there who participate in Blue Carpet Curiosity Spiffs, we do play there as well. Okay, and you're going to copy of this, so feel free to go through this as you need. Now, let's get into some of those tools. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these, but we do have some good, better, best here. This is our first set of tools. You can see we've got core, and then on the right side, we've got advanced connectivity. And so that means some that maybe have that docking display component where they deliver power, or you'll see some of them say webcams and speakers. So they're what we consider a conferencing display. Now, these are all SKUs, once again, that have good stock and good run rate. Okay, and we've also got a good, better, best in the peripherals. You'll see I've thrown in yellow here some of those SORs and Curiosity Spiffs that are valid today. Docks, good, better, best is easy because today we've only got 4 docks. Okay, so we've got the silver ones are Thunderbolt power delivery and 3 different wattages. The black is the USB-C G6 power delivery dock, so keep those in mind. Then we've got a number of bags. And then last, we've got some power adapters and hubs. We are going to see a huge changeover in power adapters next quarter. So this will update then, but for now, these are all still live and very much good stock available on them. Now let's move on to tool number 2. Some of you may say, hey, I'm seeing a lot of these power delivery docking displays. When do I sell that versus when do I sell a traditional standalone dock? And really it comes down to, if you just want a clean desk and maybe you've got an end user who's doing a hoteling situation and they just want simplicity for their users, right? A docking display probably makes a lot of sense. However, those who just need a dock, it really comes down to higher wattages that's available. So like Z workstations, right? Or manageability. Those who want to have that cloud-based Poly Studio manageability component, right? That security over-air, non-interruptible, I don't know if that's a real word or not, non-interruptible firmware updates. You can do that as well. And then as we move through here, many of you who use our life cycle chart, this is another tool. You really have to scroll out pretty far to the right to capture everything. And so I put everything on one slide, and I actually open this up every Monday morning, and I just keep it on my screen open throughout the week. But you can see in here, it tells me if it's power delivery, what wattage it is. Down here, it tells me what the resolution is, refresh rate, just a really, really quick reference guide. Now, as you move through here, the last thing I have here for a tool is what's our good leading questions when selling displays? If you've got some new sales reps in your sales force, maybe they haven't had a serious conversation. I meet with our end user teams and their customers multiple times a week, and I ask these questions with every single one that I talk to. Number one, do you need USB-C power delivery? If they say no, boom, I go to that last column. If they say yes, then I take it down a notch, and then I say, well, if you do you also need webcam and speakers? And if they say yes, I go to that far left column, and if they just need that docking component, that center stack is where I want to play. Now, real quick, we released 3 products at CES. I'm going to quickly hit on them. And one is the 514 portable display. Guys, this is a hit. Most folks that have seen these want them. And what it is a portable display. We had the E14, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. We actually have both in stock right now, right? But this new one has our new Neo LED technology, which is super bright and super crisp. It has power pass-through, so if you only have one USB-C port on your laptop, you can plug in your charger to one side of the display, and then your display into the laptop, and that power will pass through. You can use this in vertical, horizontal, right, modes here. You can use this with a couple of different travel scenarios, or even as a secondary display on your desk. Now, it doesn't come in a bag. It actually has this hard plastic cover that fits over the top that's magnetized. And when I use it, I use that cover as my mouse pad, and it makes a perfect setup when I'm traveling. Now, I mentioned the old model we had, the outgoing model. Like I said, we have both of those now. Here we go. You can see the E14 does have one of those SORs on it. So if you got folks that kind of like that thinner bezel or that different stand, instead of a kickstand, it's a folding stand. That E14 might be perfect for them, but this new 514, like I said, has so many new features on it listed in blue here. I guarantee your customers are going to want to talk about it. Okay, so with that, moving right along here, the new 549. So this is the largest screen that HP has ever made. This is replacing the outgoing 45-inch that we've had for a number of years. It's a Series 5, 49 inches. Guys, this has everything in it. We've brought some of those Series 7 technologies down with smart KVM. We've got the poly and the speakers included here, picture in a picture, 165 hertz refresh rate. That's gaming speed, right? We've got single power on, device bridge, just really everything you could possibly want. And the pricing point at let's see, hang on, let me get this right, $1,199. is like right in the mix of Samsung and Dell ultra-wide display. So I think folks are going to like this. Keep this in mind. I'll tell you, we just got our first shipment of them this week. They are almost already sold out. We have had so much clamor and excitement about this product, especially with law firms, especially with some finance institutes, and with guys who do sound and video editing, because they like that long screen. Now, one thing that's really impressive about this is, oops, got a question in here. So I'm not sure why the question's in here. I'm going to skip. Looks like we got a couple of questions in here. Am I supposed to ask these here?
Derek, yes, you can ask them.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Are people supposed to answer right here? I didn't realize it was in the presentation here. So
yes.
Okay, well, guys, go ahead. I think maybe you can click the screen. I'm going to try clicking here and see if mine works.
So while they're answering this question really quick and saying true or false, we did have one question come through that you can probably answer pretty quickly. Does HP have a touchscreen video conferencing monitor?
So the only touchscreen we have is the 24T, and it's not conferencing. So it's just one touchscreen. We get a lot of deals with, oh, I can't remember what they're called, but they're the guys who put our solution in their solution and rebrand it. And we also get a lot with like some of our thin client sales. So nothing with conferencing on the touch today. Sorry about that. Great question though. Okay, looks like we have another question here coming up. I'm pressing next. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, so this got a little bit out of order. Don't worry about that, guys. Oh, hang on. Okay, so on that 549, look at the options we have for virtual multiple display partitions. Now, Windows actually sees these partitions as a hard discrete monitor, meaning I can go in and let's say I utilize this 50-50 split up here in the top right. That's like the equivalent of 227 inches. I can actually set different resolutions on that. And when I'm sharing my screen, I only have to share one of them, right? So very, very nice. However, because there's no bezel in the center, and I take that long LCC and open it all the way up, I get the best of both worlds because I can see the whole thing on a single screen. So with that, this is the way that I use mine today. I have the 549 and the 514 used in unison. So I run all of my meetings on the 514 and all of my business on the 549. Now, one other product we released at CES is the, I'm waiting for it to advance here, is the 732XK. So this is a premium. This is probably the crown jewel of what we sell when it comes from color. If you look at that panel technology, there is not another panel out there that beats these three stats together from Adobe RGB, Display P3, and sRGB. Okay, so keep that in mind. It also has a Thunderbolt connection on it, Neo LED screen, which we have on the 514, smart KVM contrast ratio, and refresh rate of 120. Guys, I'll tell everybody who listens, if you've got some creators who are using Apple or our HP workstations or even workstations from other manufacturers, this is definitely a conversation starter. Okay, so with that, let me move right along here. We got the newly launched Series 732XK is perfect for creators who need accurate color, those needing 4K, Apple users, or all of the above. Okay, so let's see. It's not showing that any are submitted. I'm going to go ahead and choose all of the above here. Okay. Okay, and let me keep going. Just waiting for my screen to show. Okay, here we go. So this is another tool of, in the low end, a different view of all those SORs, and you can see out the door price on these, and they build, and everything in green is better than the previous model, so please use this. A Smart Buy Plus Channel Express SKU we have is the 524DA and the 527DA. This is the thinnest display HP makes. We have a consumer version that we sell at Best Buy. It is their best-selling display. Why? Because it looks so good. And it's a single display environment. So I know that we talk about docks and docking displays, but many of our customers have a single display setup, and this is perfect for that. Okay, so we've got another question here. The 524DA and 527DA is an SMB SKU that's made for multiple screen setup, color calibration, single display setup, or those who want to pay more. Single display setup is the correct answer. Okay, and then as we go through here, waiting for, okay, we're getting to the last three slides here. So guys, we released something called super capacitors, not at the last CES, but at 2 CESs ago. What that is a battery replacement. So instead of a lithium ion battery, we actually have a capacitor inside of these products that keeps a charge for us. It charges in less than 30 minutes, or sorry, in less than 3 minutes, and it will give you 30 days of charge on the mice and 60 days on the keyboard. And now look at all these mice. We have 4 mice that have this technology. The 785 is a MX master competitor, right, with Logitech. This Tilt is semi-ergonomic. 705 is a standard quiet click mouse, and the 515 is an entry level. And I'm continuing here. And then we've got a number of bags from HP as well. I think we have, I want to say we have 36 bags, right? This is the newest one we just released called the laptop briefcase. This is a sharp looking briefcase for under $30. This can be put on a big deal for even bigger discounts. those who are selling maybe in sled buying season. This and also a new sleeve that we have probably makes a lot of sense. My call to action, guys, get to know some of these tools that I presented. Like I said, you're going to get a copy of them. Upselling, right, from 24 to 27, not even that, 34 to that new 49. The more space they have, the more productive they're going to be. Guys, don't be afraid to talk about docking displays with our customers, and attaching is a no-brainer. Okay, so with that, I think I've come to the end of my slides here. I will go ahead and read and see if we have any questions, but in the meantime, I will turn it over to, let's see, JR.
Derek, I appreciate it. All right, thanks everybody, and I appreciate everybody joining us today. I know there's a lot of things going on, so we appreciate your time. Well, my name is Tops. So today I want to kind of take you on a little journey to kind of look at our portfolio, where we're at, where we're going with it from a notebook and a desktop standpoint. And I also want to kind of talk about some of the new products that we've just released. We've released a couple new products in the past couple of weeks that we're pretty excited about, and we want to kind of talk to you in a little bit more detail on them, kind of give you a high-end overview of what they look like. All right, so here's what our portfolio looks like today. When we look at our notebook portfolio, and you can kind of see this, hopefully you guys are all pretty familiar with this. You can kind of see where we're at. But what we've done is we've identified where we have kind of a new platform that's showing up that you maybe haven't seen in the past. Those would be the ones that are highlighted here in green. So make sure you kind of pay extra attention to those. We're right in the process of transitioning from our G1s to our G2 product. So currently, right now, you're going to see a lot of the G1 stuff out there. So that should be where your focus is on. But in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing us release our G2 products. So we're excited about that. But one of the things that we're most proud about when we look at our portfolio is kind of just how width it is, how much of a variety you have with it. So you can go all the way down here. You can see our HP 200 series, kind of our entry level here, but we got our ProBook 4 series, right? And I think that this is one of our series that people think, hey, this is kind of an entry level thing, but we're excited about the fact that you can able to identify and find some next generation AI product in this portfolio right here. So that's great to hear. One of the things you'll see here, and I just wanted to point this out to you, is you see this little half helix symbol down here at the end. Anytime you see that, this means that you're going to be able to find a next generation AI PC in this family. And when we talk about the difference between a next generation AI PC versus an AI PC, it all comes down to the tops, right? So you have an NPU that does a top of over 40, you're going to see a next gen AI PC, and you're going to see this little half helix symbol. Anything that has an NPU that does below 40, that's our AI PC. So that's going to be the big difference there. I know there's always some confusion around that, so I hope that helps clarify some of that. So what you'll see also is when we get into our EliteBook series here, and I think that when we talk about our portfolio, probably the one that we're proudest of is our 8 series. And the reason I love the 8 series so much is because of just the variety you get in the 8 series. You get AI options as well as next-gen AI options. You get a 13-inch screen, you get a 13-inch flip, you get a 14-inch, you get 16-inch. In addition to that, you also get, Intel and AMD options as well. So you kind of get a wide variety of options when you look in this 8 series. So when you want to start looking for that premium option, this is the one we want to talk about. Now, the one that we just released a few weeks ago, when I say a few weeks, we were at the end of January, we released a couple of these options on the G2i X and the G2iX Flip. And so I'm going to talk in a little bit more detail on that. I have a slide that kind of goes over that. But this is a product that we're really excited about. This is our first release in with the Panther Lake processor, which is Intel's next iteration of processor. We know we went from Lunar Lake now to Panther Lake. We're really excited about the Panther Lake. There's some great benefits when you look at the Panther Lake processor. For one, you're going to get a longer battery life. You're going to get a more powerful machine. You're going to get to also have a machine that does over 50 tops. So again, that Panther Lake, something that we're really excited about. And then also I want to touch base on this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time over here in the Elite Pad series because it doesn't release until the fall, but just want to make sure that you're all aware of this. This is one that we've had a lot of people clamoring for, so we're excited to be able to reintroduce that to everybody. You're going to see this again in the fall timeframe. But this is what the portfolio from the desktop from the notebook standpoint looks at. Now, if we want to jump over here to the next slide, is going to go into the desktop portfolio. So let's see if we can get there. Oh, okay, here's another slide here. This one actually will show you some of these products that are getting released. These are the products that are going to be released here and with their dates on them. So you'll kind of see this over here. This is a great slide to have just to be able to know exactly when each of these are coming. As you can see, there's a large portion of them are being released here in the March timeframe. So you'll see kind of all the way going down here, all the way into April. We do have some options that are coming out in May. Want to let you also be aware of that. We're releasing some what we call low power memory options because I know that there's some constraints around the memory. So we're going to be introducing some platforms with low power memory, and those are going to be released in the May timeframe. Now, also here, this is over here is kind of from a desktop standpoint. You can kind of see the new products we have coming in here. The Elite board. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. I think this is one of those ones that's pretty exciting. Everybody loves to see this Elite board, so I have one I'm going to show off here in a bit. And then also I want to talk about this Elite Desk 8 Mini G2i. This is going to be introduced in late April. This is Intel's first iteration of a next gen AI desktop. If you remember, we already have one from a AMD standpoint, but we're going to also have one now from an Intel standpoint here in April. All right, and so this is kind of just another view of what the slide looks like here from a roadmap standpoint. So you're gonna see these different lanes here. You can kind of see where it introduced these type of things. So what you'll see here from a Smart Buy standpoint is this was the X and the X Flip that was released back on the 30th. So we got those rolled out there. Want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. The one exciting thing about the Flip, I want to jump a couple slides because I'm not sure which one we have here. If we have there we go. This is the X and the X Flip that I want to make sure that we talk to you about. So the X and the X Flip, we released these in two different waves. So the first wave was released in January, at the end of January, with our Panther Lake processor. We released a couple options on the X version, just the clamshell version, and then the X Flip as well. Those were only released with our Channel Express SKUs, but we're releasing a couple more options that you'll see here at the end of March. So you'll also see a Qualcomm unit as well as an AMD unit following that. Some of the differences between the X and the X Flip. The X, the clamshell version, comes in all three: Eclipse Gray, Glacier Silver, and Atmospheric Blue. So you'll get all three of these options in the X series. But the X Flip only has the Atmospheric Blue and the Glacier Silver. So you want to make sure you're aware of that. The one I really like to talk about is when we talk about this unit is the fact that we've introduced kind of a new replaceable keyboard. This is a feature that we're really excited about because this is one of those things that if you ever had a keyboard go bad, you have to send it back, get it replaced. Right, it takes a couple days to get that taken care of at least, and then you have a machine that's down. So what we have now is we have a replaceable keyboard on all of these. We have videos out there online, and I obviously don't have time to show you these videos at the time, but these videos will show it takes about less than 10 minutes to replace that keyboard. For anybody in IT will be able to do that. It's a pretty simple process. You can replace that keyboard. No need now to send it back to the manufacturer to get replaced. In addition to being able to replace faulty keyboards, another great option for it is if you have multiple people using that keyboard, maybe you have someone leave the company and you want to reuse that machine, but the keyboard gets a little bit dirty, you're able to replace that keyboard as well. That gives you a great option. One of my favorite features on the Flip that I'd really like to talk about is the garage that it has with the Flip. And now with the Flip, what you'll see is it has a place to put the pin. That's something that's very, very exciting. I'm going to show you maybe on the next slide here. I think it has that. There we go. So as you can see this over here, this little place to put the pin. One of my favorite features about the X Flip is having that feature there, so you can be able to recharge the pin very quickly. With just a 30-second, put it in there for 30 seconds, you'll get a 120-minute charge, which is incredible, especially if you're right in the middle of using it and it goes dead. We love that feature on it. The other feature that we really like with that is the fact that it's a place to keep the pin, right? So you don't have to worry about losing it all the time whenever you're moving around. So that's something that we're really excited about from there. So great features on this. Again, these ones, we had a couple options released back in January, but we're releasing a lot more options, and they're going to be give you a couple CTO options coming up here at the end of the month. All right, and this is the 8 series. I'm going to just speed through this one here because this is kind of a little bit more of the same type of stuff that we shared with you before, showing you kind of where this is at, when we're expecting to release. Again, you can see at the end of March, we're releasing all the 8s. There's going to be an 8, 13, a 14, and a 16-inch version that's coming out on the G2i. You can see the flip down here as well. And the next slide, I think, is going to be on our AMD version. Yeah, you'll be able to see this AMD version here, so you'll get a different around the same date. It's going to be a little delayed. It's going to be in April, kind of mid-April. You're going to see the G2A version, the 14 and the 16-inch version from an AMD standpoint. All right, and then we talked about this. This is our 6 series. This is one of the series that's kind of the entry level in our Elite notebook series. So we love talking about this. This is a great way for a customer who's kind of teetering between looking at a ProBook series or looking at an Elite series. They're not sure which way to go. When you look at this EliteBook 6, this is a great place to start to play in this EliteBook 6, right? Because it gives you kind of the benefits of an Elite model, but again, not as pricey or not as expensive as you'll see on the 8 series. So this is a great way to get those people introduced to the Elite series here. You'll see our new ones, our EliteBook 6 G2i, being released here in April. All right, and then you can see here is our 4 series. You can see our different 4 series. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here for the sake of time, making sure that you guys have all of these options here. I want to be okay. Look like we got some promotion updates here. Want to make sure that you guys are aware of the promotions that we have running on. This is an old file, so I'm going to skip through this one. This one, first rebate scare. We do have our Super 9 that's been released. This Super 9, these keys are a little bit different, so I want to skip over that a little bit. But we do have a Super 9 for April that's going to be released here in a couple of weeks. We do have one for March as well that you have the ability to get a hold of. Skip here, jump over through here. And then this is our spiff. As you're going to see, one of the things that we always like to do is make sure that our people have opportunities to earn a little extra money. And one thing to highlight here is from a next gen AI standpoint, you'll see a $25 spiff on all of our next gen units. As well as you can see, you get $10 for the EliteBook and then a $5 on the ProBook series. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, and the one thing I did, because I did talk about the Elite board, and I know this looks like the slide didn't make it into this deck here, but this Elite board here is one thing that we really want to make sure we touch base on. If you can see my screen here, I do have one that you can kind of look at, this Elite board that was released actually on Friday. We have a few, I think there's about 5 different SKUs that were released on Friday. This is Elite board PC right here. Now this is one of the most exciting things that HP's released in the last little while. One of the things we released this at CES, and with that release, we had when we released it at CES, it won a bunch of different awards. The whole PC is actually held in this little keyboard right here. So hence the name, the Elite board, the keyboard PC, you'll hear it referred to as quite a bit. So I think that we're excited to introduce this. This was released back there, like I say, back on Friday. You should be able to get this all. One of the places this is played really well in is we've seen it in the medical field quite a bit. We've also seen it in the education department. They've been really excited about this. So if you want to get your hands on this is available now. Reach out to your D&H rep and kind of make sure we get you an opportunity to have a demo of one of these units. We're really excited to get this out in everybody's hands. A couple things that people always talk about when you look at this model here, right, is, what kind of connectivity do you have to it? That's always a big one. You can throw around them from room to room. This is great for if you have a conference room and you're moving from different conference room to conference room. This is where it really plays big for teachers who want to go from different room to different room to be able to take this in and be able to just plug it back into any monitor they have. So again, please reach out to your rep about this EliteBoard PC. This is really exciting. We want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to see one of these up close and personal. Again, guys, I really appreciate all the time. If you ever do have any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you.
Okay. I think it's coming over to me, and I'm going to share my screen. You guys ready for me to jump to that?
Go right ahead.
Okay, here we go. Make sure this works, right? Is it coming up on your guys' end?
Yes.
There we go. I'm hoping that's working.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, hi, Nancy Bowman with the workstation team here. So, I want to just give you a little bit of idea of what is happening in the market. A lot of this is probably not new to you because you're probably reading about it every day. But when we're looking at the memory and the storage environment, there is obviously a tightening in the market because people that are creating AI and server producers and stuff like that are on a massive buying spree to make and develop the data centers and things that they need. And then our producers of memory and storage, because they actually make more money providing them, that kind of component to an AI data center. Regular memory and storage for PCs, phones, anything that takes a chip kind of goes lower in the scale or the pecking order of what's being produced, because essentially they're making more money by giving them to the AI data centers and the producers on that side of the house. So we kind of go down in the rung. And that is causing us, again, the increase in price. You are experiencing, just like we are real time, the ups and downs of costs and prices and things like that is coming from the market. It is very, very dynamic. And, thank you for bearing with us. But at the same time, these kind of changes are extremely real for us. And unfortunately, everybody's kind of paying the price in a sense because it's very dynamic and we can't really, get a hold of it. So it's changing on a more than normal basis. So unfortunate, but that's going to continue throughout 2027, most likely. So I would say, be aware of it and still try to manage through all of this. But generally speaking, it's because this AI landscape is changing like crazy. AI cloud and the costs of that is unpredictable. I mean, if you look at OpenAI today, for every dollar that they make, they lose $3 on producing it and stuff like that. So that's not sustainable. And what do? Everything kind of gets transferred in a cost-wise, anything happening in the cloud back to the consumer. The explosion of data, and trying to manage it all is astronomical. And then as well, there's continuing concerns around security. What's happening in the cloud versus locally? And you want to be able to still manage that. So that's still a huge concern for people as well as they try to navigate through this changing landscape. But what we want to say is the relevancy in this dynamic of workstations really comes down to where is AI happening? Where can it help to create efficiencies? It's either at the local level with your workstations, your PCs and things like that. You could have a private cloud where you've got a back-end server, data center kind of thing in your back, that you've got racks of stuff, but it's done on-prem, a lot of the storage and compute. And then you've got the extreme of taking things to the cloud. So there's different ways of managing it. So we're really kind of speaking about a hybrid computing mindset and trying to help customers understand that, as these things become more expensive or as it takes time to send things up to the cloud or as it, just terms of cost and time and everything like that, there is this idea of hybrid. How do you compute? How do you manage this dynamic in the most efficient way? And that really speaks to bringing it down to the actual endpoint to do a lot of the development And then, deciding when does it have to be shared, where you can go to the next step and maybe put it on a server or something like that locally, for you to test things out before you have to send it to the cloud. So there's different ways of creating efficiencies so that you can get things still done more quickly, as well as save time, and costs and stuff like that along the way. So that's why the relevancy of workstations is very, very important at this point, because a lot of that compute and testing can be done on a very, strong, high performance workstation type product, whether it's mobile or a desk-based workstation. But we've got the complete solutions within the workstation portfolio for you to be able to work with customers to develop, deploy, and consume in the most efficient way, and leverage this idea of hybrid in how they're creating their AI today. So that's, it's just my bottom line kind of what is happening out there, but really the relevancy of workstations in all of this, because if you're buying a workstation PC and it seems, maybe it's, it's on the high end, it's a workstation, but sending stuff and doing stuff in different parts of this hybrid world or in the cloud is even more expensive. So you're actually getting economies of scale by doing things at a local level as much as you can. And that's the message I think we want to project to our customers, to think about it that way. Okay. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Our 2025 portfolio, obviously y'all are very, very familiar with it. I did want to point out a couple of things around where can you get a product, where can you get SKUs at this time that are already at a bargain price and stocked in the channel. Hopefully you're familiar and you've been made aware of our Smart Buy SKUs, and those are being designated now as AT pound ABA SKUs. Those SKUs are important because they're pre-discounted. You don't have to always go for a big deal. You don't have to create a new CTO SKU or something like that and have a delay in the turnaround. These SKUs are all pre-discounted, ready to go. For workstations, the turnaround for memory and storage, we're always prioritized in workstations to be able to deliver faster than other product lines, not to ding our notebook brethren, but workstations is always prioritized. So we've got the product for you to grab, but these in particular, these Smart Buy SKUs are already pre-discounted, and you'll get it. If you haven't seen these, we've got them for mobile, desktop, and then of course A&D as well. But they're great SKUs and the prices are already ready to go. You don't even need to go to a big deal or try to get a new configuration or a new big deal or anything like that on these SKUs, because these prices that we're at right now are pretty much the best you're going to get. And I'm being pretty straightforward for you to make sure that you take a look at these, and then versus the competition, they're highly competitive. So this just eases, with all the price constraints and just availability. Take a look at these SKUs more closely, because they're ready to go for you to grab and be very competitive. So we've got it on mobile as well as our desk-based workstations. And then this one, of course, is just really highlighting amongst the two, the AMD product that we've got. And then I want to make sure that you all still are aware of this Z bonus program. So from a promotion standpoint, any of our Channel Express, which is the UT pound ABA SKUs that you guys know and love, as well as those AT SKUs that I just spoke about, are eligible for both desk-based as well as mobile workstations. Any of those SKUs, you buy 50 of them. They can be mix and match. They can be on separate invoices. As long as you're able to go into Curiosity and claim against them, every 50 units, you get an additional $500 bonus, spiff. And it's not capped. So look to those SKUs. There's stock in the channel. There's stock at D&H. They're stocking up as we speak. They've got orders in with us to have more channel inventory. So please take a look at those. And again, with those types of SKUs, put them, 50 of them, and you've got another $500 for your deal. And then when it comes to spiffs for workstations, we've got incredible spiffs, incredible amounts, and we always pay higher for mobile workstations if you add a graphics card into your configuration. But base spiffs for mobile is $25, and then Z2s around $15, and then there's incremental, of course, for AMD based product that I want to make sure you're aware of. And then real quick, the last thing that I really want to talk about is we are in the midst of the beginning of that summer refresh when it comes to mobile products. Every summer, you're getting the next generation of mobile products, and it's the same for workstations. So we are starting to introduce new ZBook 8s as well as ZBook X in that April timeframe. One of the big things going into 2026 that we will be introducing on the ZBook 8, it will be a ZBook 8 G2A for AMD, 16-inch. So we are introducing an AMD-based 16-inch in that ZBook 8, which is great because it's kind of been a hole. We've been missing it, and we're excited to have it back in the portfolio. It's new, but have it in our portfolio and look out for that. And again, around the end of April or so. And then in the future, we're also going to be introducing a ZBook Ultra G2A 16-inch. So we have a G1 today, that's a 14-inch AMD-based product. And then we're going to be introducing a 16-inch, and that's going to be more towards the end of this year, but it's on the horizon. And again, a testament to our growing portfolio with AMD for, increased acquisition type stuff. Use those products because of their, great price and great performance. But we're really kind of completing our portfolio as we head into 2026 in mobile. And then the last thing, desk-based workstations, pretty calm, and stable and stuff like that. Those are around for a lot of time, so no churn there or anything. So 2026 is going to kick off with some really good stuff. And with that, I'm done. I just wanted to give you a quick update, and I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for joining.
Thanks,
and
Nancy.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Can you hear me okay, Nancy?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. Tell me when you guys can see it. Is it up, Shanice? Are we good?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, great. So team, first, I know we throw a lot of information at you. So first of all, my name is Keith Homan. I am the DBM for the poly side of the business at D&H. Just three things I really want you to remember, though, with all this information we're throwing at you. A, D&H is the 25 poly distributor of the year. Congratulations, D&H. Fantastic. Down below there is also poly@dnh.com. If you have questions about headsets, about video, about phones, or any poly gear, you can get them answered there. I have one of the strongest champions there that works with me. And if she doesn't have the answer, she'll come to me or she'll come to our SEs for any answer that you may need. On that. The third thing I want you to remember is I'm really talking about headsets here. And I'm going to be talking about these new headsets in just a moment, but realize if you've been a HP partner for any time now, you know that we're all talking about how do we get more revenue from the existing customer base, right? How do we add on sales to the PC side of the business, attach, whatever you want to call it, right? The headsets, when we actually did this research project we had with one of our largest partners, we found that attach of a headset and other products doesn't always happen at the same time of the sale. We realized that many times you're in there competing against another manufacturer, maybe you're competing against another HP seller there too, and you don't want to muddle the waters by having another product on there. A lot of the attach occurs afterwards. In fact, 70% of the time with PCs that are a PC that has 100 or more units, they will attach a headset, and it'll be the similar headset, or the same types of headsets that will be offered. But 70% of the time, they will order headsets for those laptops within 3 to 4 months. That's actually been documented. So you may want to make sure that you're looking at that opportunity afterwards, especially with the headsets. Why do they all go do that? During COVID, what happened was they would give everybody $500, say, go work from home, buy your own headset, buy this. It drove the IT departments crazy, trying to say, why are my Apple AirPods not working? Why is my Bose thing not working? Why is my Beats headphones not working? They want to standardize. They want to be able to put everything into a standardized platform and maybe even WXP, which we were talking about before, to manage all of these assets, right? So it's really that. Just realize that if there's nothing else you remember from this, the opportunity to attach isn't just at the time of sale; it's afterwards also, right? So let me get to the HP Poly mission for a moment here. Is it spinning on your end, Shanice? I hope it is. It's kind of cool. But it's sort of a good, better, best right now. You're going to see. We haven't redesigned our headsets from the black wire, which oddly enough has an orange wire. We haven't really changed our portfolio much at all in the black wire headsets until now for the past 10 years, right? This is really very exciting. The new Poly Mission headsets are out. Again, a 400 series, 600 series, 800 series. I'll talk more about it just down here a little bit. Really, we are selling our Blackwire headsets more than, it is the best-selling wired headset out there, period, and it has been for many, many years. You're going to see a transition occurring here, and it's really important that we do this well, because as we have depended upon these sales of these Blackwire, again, with the orange wire there, the Mission series basically, is, what have we really changed on this, right? We've completely refreshed the look. The noise reduction, the AI noise reduction, even on the base model now, which we haven't had, you had to go all the way to the top of the line, the 825 on the Blackwire. The AI noise reduction is even at the low. I was on an airplane using the 425 recently and tested it myself, and nobody could hear anything but me. So really fantastic. ANC has been improved. I'm going to get into super wideband audio. It sounds like super cool, but it really is actually a standard, and the sustainability that HP puts in all of its products right now. Not going to go. I'm going to skip over this because I don't have a lot of time. But what do we have here? Even the base model has AI noise reduction right now in the 400 series. When you look at the next series up, a lot of people use this, which is the boom rotation mute. Right, as soon as the boom goes up, it mutes everything on the other end of the line. Right, that's something that's very important. Also has a carrying case and voice prompts. And then you get to the best level, and it gets really very strong ANC feedback. But the super wideband is throughout the portfolio. So what is super wideband? It's not just something that we came up with our own name. This is a standard that uses a very broad hertz level that you basically hear the entire natural sound coming through. So it's really quite fantastic. Once you've tried these on, and I really encourage you to see whenever you can to try it on for yourself. It makes a very big difference in the way that you're listening to it. It tires you out less if you're on the calls all the time. So really quite strong. The sound quality is a larger driver, right? This gives you better sound coming through, right? The on-ear busy light indicator, we haven't had this before, but now you have this on the 600 series and higher, right? Really very important. I mean, I don't know how many people are in a setting where they don't know if someone's actually on a call. I do it all the time. I interrupt somebody, not realizing they're on a call. This actually tells you when they're on a call. More importantly than anything else with our new line, we've had a lot of different SKUs, right? And if you've gone and you've sold our products before, you say, okay, do I need a team SKU? Do I need this SKU? Is this one Google certified? Is this one, Zoom certified? We've really condensed the product line by having, especially with Microsoft. Microsoft is the most stringent on making sure that their Teams button and all the interactivity works, where if they go up and down with the volume, it actually shows up on the screen too, right? All those pieces that they want to make sure that these inline controllers are working. Our engineers did something really pretty cool, right? That same SKU that you could be on a Google call or a Zoom call in the morning and a Teams call, which, by the way, we're almost all on different platforms all the time. The Teams button actually starts lighting up when it knows it's on a Teams call. Really very cool. That's one of the biggest reasons why we're able to melt down our SKUs down to much fewer SKUs. It makes it a lot simpler for you to go out and sell that. Makes it a lot simpler for inventory handling for the end user as well. So very excited about these. We haven't really done anything major with our headsets, our wired headsets, for about 10 years. This is already getting tremendous demand out there. So please do take a look at them when you have a chance. And if you have any questions, poly@dnh.com. Thank you. I'm going to flip it over to the next person.
Okay, I think that is it. I do want to In closing, thank everybody for giving us some time of your afternoon today. We appreciate your business. And thank you to the HP category folks for sharing our product updates with us. A lot of exciting products out there from WXP to all of our Poly products, all of our displays and accessories, notebooks, desktops, and workstations. A lot of good stuff as we close out. Get ready to close out the first half, and as we continue to drive business through our great partner, D&H Distributing, as we get closer to the start of our second half. I'd also encourage you customers to reach out to Shawnice, myself, anybody on Shawnice's team. D&H does a great job with our Channel Express inventory. They're one of our largest distributors when it comes to driving Channel Express, formerly known as Smart Buy business. They do a great job of having everything in stock. And everybody on Shawnice's team is there to help. You know, if you have anything related to any product specific questions, we have somebody on a team that's aligned to each product line. We have people that could help you with bill registration, tracking down HP sales reps, sorting through life cycle charts, whatever you need. Shawnice has somebody on her team that can help you with that. So again, thank you folks for joining today. I think today was very successful. Any questions, please reach out to myself, Shawnice, or your D&H sales representative. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.